Chapter 14, Professional Ethics and Liabilities of Auditors. Overview of Audit of Ethics. Fundamental Principles. To achieve objectives of accounting professional accountants have to observe a number of prerequisites of fundamental principles. The fundamental principles as per ICAI Code of Ethics are integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior. Integrity. It requires accountant to be straightforward and honest in all professional and business relationships. Objectives. Objectivity. It requires accountant not to compromise judgment because of bias, conflict of interest, or undue influence of others. Professional competence and due cares. It requires it requires an accountant to attain, maintain professional knowledge and act diligently as per technical and professional standards. Confidentiality. It requires an accountant to respect confidentiality of information acquired as a result of professional and employment relationships. Professional behavior. It requires an accountant to comply with relevant laws and regulations and avoid any conduct that might discredit the profession. Threats. Threats to compliance with fundamental principles fall into following categories: self-interest threats, self-review threats, advocacy threats, familiarity threats, intimidation threats. Self-interest threats. Financial or other interest will influence professional accountant judgment or behavior. Example: direct financial interest or close business relationship with clients, holding financial interest or receiving loan from employing organization. Self-review threat. Professional accountant will not appropriately evaluate results of previous judgment made or activity performed by accountant. Examples of circumstances: issuing assurance report on effectiveness of financial system after implicating systems, determining appropriate accounting treatment for business combination after performing feasibility study, reporting the purchase. Advocacy threat. Professional accountant will promote client or employee organization position to the point that accountant's objectivity is compromised. Examples of circumstances: acting as advocate on behalf of assurance client in litigation or disputes. Opportunity to manipulate information in prospectus to obtain favorable financing. Familiarity threats. Due to long or close relationship with client or employing organization, professional accountant will be too sympathetic to their interest. Examples of circumstances: close family relationship with client or long association of audit team member with client, long association with individual influencing business decisions. Intimidation threats. Professional accountant will be detected from acting objectively because of actual or perceived pressures. Examples of circumstances: being threatened with dismissal by client, facing threat of dismissal or replacement by employing organization. Safeguards. Safeguards are actions that our accountant takes or reduce threats to an acceptable level. Examples of actions to address threats include assessing additional time and qualified personnel to required tasks, having an appropriate reviewer who was not a member of a team to review the work performed, using different partners and engagement teams with separate reporting lines for provision of non-assurance services to an assurance client, involving another firm to perform or re-perform part of engagement, separating teams with when dealing with matters of confidential nature. Non-compliance with laws and regulation, NOCLAR. Meaning, non-compliance with laws and regulation means acts of omission or commission, international or uninternational, which are contrary to prevailing laws or regulation committed by client or professional accountants employing organization, TCWG of client or employing organization, management of client or employing organization, or the individual working for client or employing organization. NOCLAR does not address personal misconduct unrelated to business of client employing organization and non-compliance by parties other than listed out in NOCLAR definition. Following examples would be covered in NOCLAR: fraud, corruption and bribery, money laundering, terrorist financing and proceeds of crime, securities markets and trading, banking and other financial products and services, data protection, environmental protection, public health and safety, tax and pension liabilities and payments, applicability of responsibility is responding to NOCLAR in India, professional accountants in service, applicable to senior professional accountants in service. Being employees of listed entities, senior professional accountant means key managerial personnel, directors or officers, senior employees. Professional accountants in practice, applicable to audit engagements of listed entities in India having net worth of rupees 250 crore or more. Responding to NOCLAR. Steps to be taken for responding: obtain an understanding of the matter, addressing the matter, seeking advice, determining whether further action is needed, determining whether to disclose the matter to an appropriate authority. Imminent breach. Imminent breach. Documentation. NOCLA versus SA 250. SA 250 applicable only on audit and not on other assurance engagements. Applicable on professional accountants in service and in practice. Covers auditors' responsibilities for laws having direct effect on determination of material amounts and disclosures in financial statements. वही नोक्लार में क्या होता है, कवर नॉन कंप्लायंस दैट causes substantial harm in financial or non financial terms. ऐसे 250 में क्या होता है कि does not define stakeholders. वही नोक्लार में क्या होता है, related to effect of non compliance on investors, creditors, employees and general public. No provision of no provision of imminent breach ऐसे 250 में होता है. वही नोक्लार में होता है कि if professional accountant become aware of imminent breach of law or regulation, he shall determine whether to disclose this immediately to appropriate authority to prevent or mitigate consequences of such imminent breach. Membership of the institute. Types of members of the institute. The members shall be divided into two classes designed as associate and fellows. Associate member, ACA, any member whose name has been entered in the register. Fellow member, FCA, associate member who has been in continuous practice in India for at a period for at least 5 years. Associate member who possesses such qualifications equivalent to 5 years with continuous practice. Disabilities for purpose of membership. Following person is debarred from having his name entered in register of members: if he has not attained the age of 21 years, if he is of unsound mind, if he is undischarged insolvent, if he is discharged insolvent and has not obtained a certificate from court stating that his insolvency was caused by misfortune without any misconduct on his part, if he has convicted by competent court of an offence involving moral turpitude and punishable with transportation or imprisonment unless he has either been granted a pardon or central government has removed the disability. Removal of name from the register. Council may remove the name of any member from register in following cases: who is dead, from whom a request has been received to that effect, who has not paid prescribed fee required to be paid by him, who is found to have any disabilities mentioned above. Restoring of membership. If name of any member is removed from register for non-payment of prescribed fee, then his name may be entered again on payment of arrears of fee along with additional fee. If name is removed due to orders of board of discipline, disciplinary committee, appellate authority of or high court, when restoration shall be in accordance with such orders. Penalty for falsely claiming to be a member, etc. Any person who, not being a member of institute, represents that he is a member or uses designation CA, being a member of institute but not having a certificate of practice represents that he is in practice, shall be punishable. On first conviction, fine up to rupees 1000. On any subsequent conviction, imprisonment up to 6 months or fine up to rupees 5000 or both. Chartered accountants in practice. A practicing CA is a person who is a member of institute, is holding COP, and includes such members of institutes who are deemed to be in practice. Significance of COP. A member who is not a practice is precluded from accepting engagement to render any services normally prescribed for CA, even though for doing so he does not require special qualification. Council of the institute is of the view that once the person becomes member of the institute, he is bound by provisions of CA Act and its regulations if he appears before income tax tribunal as an income tax representative after having become a member of institute. He, he could so appear only in his capacity as CA and member of institute. A member of institute can have no other capacity which he can take up such practice separable from his capacity to practice as a member of institute. Cancellation and registration of COP. COP shall be liable for cancellation if name of COP holder is removed from register. COP was issued on the basis of incorrect, misleading, or false information or by mistake. Member has ceased to practice. Member has not paid annual fee for COP till 30th September of relevant year. Member has not council may restore his COP with effect from the date on which it was cancelled to a member whose certificate has been cancelled due to non payment of annual fee and whose application along with fee is received by secretary before expiry of relevant year. Members deemed to be in practice. A member of institute is deemed to be in practice when he, number 1, engages in himself in practice of accountancy, offers to perform service involving auditing or verification of financial transaction books, accounts or records, or preparation of verification of certification of financial accounting, or holds himself out to the public as an accountant. Number 3, renders professional services or assistance relating to accounting procedure or recording, presentation or certification of financial facts or data. Render such other services as in the opinion of council are rendered by CA in practice pursuant to 4 मतलब 4th अच्छा ऊपर वाला Council may permitted a CA in practice to render entire range of management consultancy and other services which shall include the following: financial management planning and financial policy determination, capital structure planning and advice regarding raising finance, working capital management, cost management and decision making, preparing project reports and feasibility studies, preparing budget, cash flow statements, profitability statements, etc. Personal recruitment and selection, including development of human resources, designing and conduct of training programs, setting up executive incentive plans, wage incentives plans, etc. Management and operational audits, valuation of shares and business and advice regarding amalgamation and merger, acting as registered valuer under Companies Act, acting as advisor or consultant to an issue, including such matters as drafting of prospectus and memorandum, filing of documents with a SEBI, preparation of publicity budget, advice regarding selection of brokers and underwriters, etc. However, CA in practice is not permitted to undertake activities of broking, underwriting, and portfolio management services, quality audit, environment audit, energy audit, acting as a recovery consultant in banking sector, acting as insolvency professional as per insolvency and bankruptcy code, administrative services. Administrative services may involve assisting clients with their routine or mechanical tasks. Such services require little to no professional judgment and are clerical in nature. For example, functions of a GST practitioner. However, above provisions need to be corrected with Section 144 of the Companies Act 2013. Companies not to engage in accountancy. No company shall practice as CA. Company includes any LP which has company as its partner. If any part any company contravenes this provision, then every director, manager, secretary, and any other officer who is knowingly part to such contravention shall be punishable with fine up to rupees 10 1000 and subsequent conviction is up to rupees 5000. Member in practice prohibited from using designation other than CA. Member in practice cannot use any designation other than CA, but a member who is not in practice and does not use designation CA may use any other description. Maintenance of branch offices. If a CA in practice or CA firms has more than one office in India, each one of such offices should be separate charge of a member of institute. Failure on the part of member of firm would constitute professional misconduct. CA in charge of branch should be associated with member or firm either as a partner or paid assistant. If he is paid assistant, he must be in full-time employment. Exemption is given to members practicing in hill areas subject to following conditions: allowed open temporary office in plains for maximum city in plains for maximum 3 months in a year. Regular office need to be closed during this period. Name board of firm temporary office should not be displayed other than the period of such office is permitted to function as above. Temporary office should not be mentioned in letterheads, visiting cards, or any other documents as a place of business. Before commencement of every winter, it shall be obligatory to perform the institute about opening of temporary office. Exemption may granted to member of firm to have second office without such second without such second office being under separate charge of a member of institute, provided second office is located in same premises in which first office is located, or second office is located in same city in which first office is located, or second office is located within a distance of 50 kilometers from a municipal limits of a city in which first office is located. A member of having two offices of the referred to above shall have to declare which of the two offices is his main office, which would constitute his professional address. With regard to the use of name board, where will there will be no bar for putting up a name board in the place of residence of a member with the designation of CA, provided it is a nameplate or a name board of an individual member and not of the CA firm, not of the firm. KYC norms for CA in practice. Financial services Financial services industry globally is required to obtain information of their clients and comply with know your clients norms. Keeping in mind higher standards of CA profession in India, Council of ICI issued such norms to be observed by members in practice. KYC norms approved by Council of ICI are given below. General information: name and address of individual or partner or entity, copy of PANs, business description, copy of last audited financial statements, name of parent company in case subsidiary only company. Engagement information: type of engagement, regulatory information only company, company identification number, director's name and address, director's identification number. Types of misconduct: professional or other misconduct. Professional misconduct has been defined in part 1 to 3 of the first schedule and part 1 and 2 of the second schedule. Other misconduct: other misconduct has been defined in part 4 of the schedule 1 and part 3 of the second schedule. These provisions empowers the council to inquire into any misconduct of member even it does not arise out of his professional work. This is considered necessary because a CA is expected to maintain higher standard of integrity even in his personal affairs, and any deviation from this standard even in his non-professional work would expose him to disciplinary action. Some illustrative examples where member may be found guilty of other misconduct are where CA retains the books and documents of client and fails to return these to the client on request of without a reasonable cause, where a CA makes a material misrepresentation, where CA uses services to his articled or audit assistants other than professional practice, conviction by competent court of law for any offense under section 8(5) of CA Act, misappropriation of money by offense bearer of regional council of institute and utilization thereof for his personal use, not relying within a reasonable time and without a good cause to public or authorities letter, where a certain assessment records of income tax department belonging to clients of a CA firm CA were found in Almira, a bedroom of CA, where a CA had adopted coercive method on bank for sanction of loan,